For the Real Estate Mortgage Insider Show. My name is Ted Hicks, along with my hosts Craig Yace and Scott Benson. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Dude,
another day in beautiful paradise, man.
Living the dream, being one of the co-hosts of the #1 rated real estate mortgage show in Corona, California. Not many people can lay name to that title. Well, I know 2 of us or 3 of us can do that, but nobody else. And Craig, you are the epicenter. You must get recognized. You must get, how do you even go out in public?
Hey, I go out shaking hands and kissing babies, man.
That's it. You know what? There's only one answer for that, and that's the right answer. Good job, Craig. Scott, does that pour over to Redondo Beach? Because I know Corona is just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
No. It pours right over. It pours right over. It reminds me of a question I got the other day from one of my clients, and he was asking about, he was asking for the name of what you call a detective who is also a real estate agent. And I was wondering if you guys knew what that's called, a detective that's also a real estate agent.
I don't know, Scott. What is it?
I have an idea.
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
That's his time.
There you go. That's my joke of the day, guys. That's my joke of the day. I'm done.
That's it. That's his time. We'll be back next week. So Craig, last week we had, what was 120? I don't know. It's always 120, 140. Has anything changed at all in Corona, California since last week?
Yeah, we've got 8 more homes on the market this week than we did last week. So 128.
Go.
128.
It's moving.
We still have less inventory than we have. Less inventory than we have closings. 147 closed. So what is that? 19 difference. And that's less than a month of inventory.
That's crazy. That's absolutely nothing. It's wild.
I feel like, Craig, if this trend continues, we're going to rename the show to Real Estate Mortgage Insiders Riverside, because you're going to have to move areas to get more listings.
Right.
So
Riverside.
If you're going to make anywhere home, make Riverside home.
Yeah.
So Scott, go ahead.
No, I was curious. When you're looking at your higher end homes in the area and your buyers of those homes, would you say that most of those buyers business owners? So that are qualifying at like $1.2 million, $1.5 million and higher, or do you see a lot of W-2 earners that are earning enough that they can get into those homes? I'm just curious what you're seeing there.
It's probably a mix. There are some people who are earning enough. I think enough. So the way Corona is made up, we're close enough to Orange County that many of the people. So most of the sales, I'm generalizing, but it seems to me, and my experience is that most of the sales come from people who are moving from Orange County into Corona because they can get a newer home, they can get a bigger home, and they can pay less. So if they could afford 1.2 million in Orange County, Costa Mesa or something like that, it's a 1960s home that's probably 1,800 square feet, and out here that's 4,000 square feet built in 2015 or something like that, right?
Right.
So I would imagine that a lot of those people are taking equity. So maybe they couldn't buy with 20% down, but they've got 30 or 40% coming into the new purchase. So a lot of the sales are coming from Corona. A lot of people, believe it or not, move from Corona to another part of Corona. They may have bought in a lower priced area. And I've got a customer who his goal was to be in that Eagle Glen community that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And so he bought a starter home a little farther away. It was a little less money and made enough equity and increased in his, in his pay structure at work that he could make that jump. So we see a lot of that as well.
Well, that's interesting, you know, because we were, you know, Ted and I were talking to a guy that's looking to buy a place in Northern California, and he's a self-employed guy. And what was interesting is he's taking, you know, I didn't realize it, but there are ERC, you know, that employee retained credits that you can get. He started two different companies, one in 2020 and one in 2021, and he's getting 100 grand from the government on each of those startups, plus another 15 grand per employee he had that he kept employed, you know, during COVID. And then he's using those, you know, that number to drive his towards his down payment. So I think it's, and that's why I asked about the self-employment thing, because I think that it seems that more and more people are getting in tune with those programs that are available, and I'm wondering what kind of impact that's going to have on us in the housing market, because you know, they've already incurred the cost, right? So that almost gets given to them now as a bonus for the pain they incurred back then, keeping people paid, and then that becomes money they've got available to put into real estate. So I think it's I'm trying to connect up with a guy that's what he does, and he helps people get those, because I think those are some great real estate opportunities to put that money to work.
It's all those spam calls that I get are that.
Oh my God, I get so many calls on this. Crazy how many calls I get on that. So anyway, that's interesting.
Back to your question, let me just finish by saying, you know, it's so I think it's those people with equity. I think I know that there are a lot of business owners here. In fact, I know there's a semi-local bank called Citizens Bank, and the president of that bank used to live, I don't know if he still does, but used to live in a high-end area. Sports figures, we've talked about that before. And believe it or not, my neighborhood, we've got a couple of TikTokers. So
there we go. So the new media star of the age, right? So it's crazy to me what some of them can do, and it's really interesting to see all the different little segments that build these huge fan bases, and you know, and what they're coming up with. So
it's incredible. So we lost Ted. We lost Ted because his internet connection was glitching out, but hopefully
Yes, he did. That's okay. Ted will rejoin us here soon. So I think he had a couple things queued up in terms of what he was thinking about from a real estate and loan perspective, in terms of some of the different products that we've seen in the market and the impact. But I can speak to a client that we recently talked to, again, going back to that all-in-one loan. And I think there's so much opportunity there, because there was another client we brought in quite some time ago, and I guess they've been in an all-in-one now for 4 years, and they're using that money. It looks like they're buying two properties in different states, each one in a different state, and they're doing the fix and flips on those properties, but they're using the money that they got from their all-in-one loan to get into those properties, and basically kind of a cash transaction, so they don't have to wait on the loan, and then they're going to get a loan after they've done the conversion. Do you see opportunities for many fix and flips in Corona?
They pop up. The bulk of them are already fixed and flipped. So
got it.
You know, those people are doing marketing like crazy, letters, postcards. You know, probably
reaching out to homeowners, right?
Reaching out to homeowners, and they're really looking for somebody who's never touched the property. You know, no updates, nothing like that. And I don't know, man. There's a company called Curb.io. I think it's Curb.io, something like that. Yeah. They will come in and renovate your property, small renovations to complete renovations, to help you crank out as much equity as you can. And I know it's a pain in the butt to kind of live through that or whatever, but man, I can't see why anybody would take a $150,000 to $200,000 haircut on their equity.
Right? Why would you do that? Flip it to some. I mean, I guess if you just don't have the money to do the fix, but
Curbio does, whatever it is, does that for you and waits till you sell, kind of like the
kind of like that program with the state of California where they participate in the equity upside.
Well, it's kind of like that loan program that you were talking about that gave you a year. Oh, the bridge loan type thing.
Yeah.
The cake loan, yeah.
Yeah.
And so they give you a year to sell that property. You certainly don't want to wait that long because
sure,
we don't know what's going to happen in a year. Although who knows, maybe the values go up and you do really well.
So do they hold the financing on the repair and then they get a percentage of the back end based upon what the value gain was? Is that how that works?
No, it's not a percentage. It's all figured out before you do it.
Okay.
I've never done one, but I know that there are programs out there. Bottom line, I mean, I've got a contractor that I work with that'll take a small deposit and wait until you sell to get the bulk of his his payment. And he charges, it's like $400. I mean, it's he charges $400 to wait.
Right.
So that's a no-brainer, and I think Curbio, whatever, it has a similar structure to that.
Right.
I don't. People just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's half of it. You got to be educated about what's available in the market, right? And if you don't know that exists and you don't think there's any other alternative, well, I guess then you take the haircut, right? And it's a shame because those people that take those haircuts, sometimes those are the people that most need the money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's moving from one pocket into another. But yeah, anyway, that's the way it is. I see Ted anxiously trying to get back in the game. I see him rotating screens, and I see. But he's not on yet, so he must still. But he seems to be moving. So, Ted, are you gonna join us, buddy? He's gotta flip his screen on. Oh, I gotta flip him on.
There you are.
Oh, hey,
prison. Yeah, well,
I was in live stream prison, waiting for Scott, who took all control to let me be involved in the conversation. I was listening. I was anxiously awaiting. Guys, my internet is garbage today. I had to switch to mobile, and now I'm on 5G, but I get to show off my super cool fireplace. Never ends.
Oh, wow. I thought that was a building behind you.
I did too. I actually thought it was like a skyscraper in the background. That's what I thought that was.
I thought I was doing the show in front of the Stratosphere because I'm in Vegas, but no, I'm in my living room, guys. This is.
I thought you moved to One Park Place.
You know what? 2 Park Place. One park was busy.
How about No Park Place?
Yeah, exactly. Well, pretty soon the way the economy's going, guys.
I think I've got a TED Tech tip.
Tell us.
I think I have one too.
Get good internet.
Yeah, get good internet, right? Exactly. Reboot before the show and not during the show. That's another one, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I almost had to do that.
Guys, before we get too far into our show, I know we're only halfway through it. The audience is anxiously awaiting our number one segment of the show, and that's get to know Scott, Ted, and Craig. Right. So, with that being said, one of us was a judge in Calaveras County's Leaping Frog Jubilee. One of us was a judge in Calaveras County Leaping Frog Jubilee. One of us actually tried out for America's Got Talent, because he is such a good impressionist. In fact, he does a stellar Johnny Carson or Rodney Dangerfield, and we'll do it on the show today to demonstrate. Either one. He can nail them both.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's see who can do it.
One of us once was a cat groomer. And maybe Scott, because he's got a cat behind him.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
But that's a softball for the audience, so it may not be Scott. All right. I'm thinking
Who knows? Who
So,
knows? Who knows? So,
audience, you got to wait till the end of the show. But text in your answers now.
15 short minutes.
15 short minutes, and you'll get your surprise.
oh my God.
I'm telling you, man. It was yeah. So, Craig, I know, Scott, you were talking investments with Craig, and you were asking some questions I wanted to ask him. And I'm sorry I missed part of the conversation there because, Craig, I'm actually in the market for an investment property myself, and I'm looking to do some fix and flips. So I don't know if you have experience with that as a realtor on farming those and maybe even some pocket listings per se, or if your area may be ripe for something like that. Is there any areas that maybe I heard you mention some 60s homes? I've got some really nice ones in Vegas that I could talk about that fit the niche. But Craig, you're my buddy, man, and I want to do business with you. Do you have any opportunities that we might be able to look at?
Gosh, man, I get phone calls all the time. I don't have any pocket listings. I know areas that are great areas for that. And we could probably pull tax records and find out who's been in their home for 30 years. And they would, but honestly, man, I get in and sit in front of a seller, and I can't always, influence them to go this way, but I'll sit in front of a seller and say, look, for 20 grand, we could get you 100,000 more, or more. And so
it doesn't have to be a pocket listing. It has to be an opportunity, right?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't have to be a pocket listing. It just has to be an opportunity to have a house that's maybe underwater, maybe it's beat down, it needs some love.
Right.
Anything like that.
I mean, but
we can do some mailers. I can do some door knocking. It's funny. A lot of people don't like to door knock, and I haven't done it for a while. But I don't mind getting out there. You get in the sun, you get a little exercise. So I don't mind door knocking.
Meet some fun people. Yeah. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's great just getting out there and doing it. So,
yeah.
And Ted, while you were gone, regenerating your internet, one of the things Craig was talking about is some of the services that are out there that will absorb the rehab cost and allow the original homeowner then to take advantage of the post rehab price points in the marketplace.
That's great.
So there are people that are approaching the market that way that have the ability to do the labor portion of the work associated with bringing it up. But we should say from an audience perspective, if there's somebody out here that's seeing this, that is in the mode, that has an older home that needs repairs and they need to get out of it, we have clients that are looking for those opportunities, and right now Ted's looking one for himself. So let us know, reach out, and we can put something together, or we can help you do it yourself. So whatever your preference is, there's a couple of ways to go on the market. Some people need it; they need it quickly, and you know what? If we can be an avenue to get them there fast, then that's wonderful too.
Right.
I mean, going back to our conversation last week with the fix and flip loans, if you got experience as an investor and doing this for properties, we can go all the way up to 90% LTV on the purchase and 100% of the rehab. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Think about that. Normally, you're looking at hard money loans, you're 35, 40% down. I do have one, guys. If you're watching this and maybe your credit's taking a hit, we all been through some challenges. I got ones that'll go no credit at 65% LTV on investment, fix and flip. So, I mean, there's opportunities for everybody if you got cash to get in this game. And it's just a matter of finding the right deal. We're looking at some areas in Vegas right now that are really, really intriguing. There's an area called the Art District, and it's been revitalized. It's great. It kind of reminds me of Abbott and Kinney when you walk down the market lights, the different type of unique. It's that same energy that pre-COVID Abbott and Kinney, I should say. Scott, I've been on a miles. It's still nice. I mean, I know that Venice.
It's coming back. It's coming back. It's not what it was, but it is coming back slowly but surely.
Yeah. So I mean, I talked about Good Pie, my favorite pizza places down there. They got a ton of breweries, tattoo shops, vintage clothing stores, restaurants. It's very unique and some really nice graffiti where you can do photo ops. Anyways, right by there are these homes that were built in the 60s. And it seems like every third one has been remodeled, and it's got that retro modern Palm Springs retro modern look to them, and they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I walked in one the other day. I was like, man, I would live in this house. It was so nice. And the beauty of it is because it's on the north end of the strip, you got the stratosphere in almost every view, either your front yard or backyard. The stratosphere is staring right at you. I mean, you can't avoid it, but it adds such a cool look to your skyline because the stratosphere is this big beaming thing. And it's just like, oh man, look at that. And depending on where you're at, you even get a few more. And so your walking distance to these cool locations where you have these bars, restaurants. I know Scott, like where he lives in Royal Beach, they do a lot of walking to restaurants. So somebody like Scott would thrive in an area like this. But then if you work on the strip, or if you're an avid person who goes down to the life of the strip, you're a 5-minute drive away max from, let's say, Resort World or Wynn, which are two of the top newer ones, higher end ones on the strip. So I know we're not talking Vegas today, but it's in relation to our conversation. And hey, man, it's where I live. So.
Very
Craig,
cool.
we'll get dual listing, and we'll get you listings over here too.
Right on.
Do license.
I've got somebody who's looking for short-term rentals because we're close to a couple of hospitals, convention center.
Yeah.
In-person meetings coming back. We're close enough to mountains of. I mean, if you're going to go to the mountains, you're gonna do an Airbnb there. But these travel nurses. Man, they rent Airbnbs and they take care of them. They're hardly ever there. So anyway, there's a good market.
I hear
here
they
for
nurse them pretty well.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi-oh.
Oh.
You're not a robot anymore.
Craig, is Airbnb allowed in Corona, California?
I don't know about Corona, but I wouldn't necessarily choose Corona as an Airbnb place.
Where would you go?
Well, again, Riverside is close to a couple of really big and good hospitals. Funny story. Never mind. I'm not gonna talk bad about
funny story.
Huh?
You lead with hospital, then funny story.
All right. Okay.
Craig.
My brother-in-law.
Yes, brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law hit his head, and then he had a fall or whatever. He's in a wheelchair, and he starts thinking, "Wait a minute." Bob Saget went out after a fall, thought he was fine, and ended up not waking up the next day. So maybe I should go get checked out. So we went to a local, like a walk-in center,
care.
and urgent care, and they were about to shut down, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't have the equipment that you need. You might want to go to a hospital." So he says, "Well, which one would you recommend?" And he says, "Well, I'd go to this one in Riverside." And he said, "Is there one closer that we might need to go to?" And he said, "Well, you could go to this one in Corona." Named it. I'm not going to name it. That's why I decided to stop. But me and two other people in the waiting room said no.
Really?
And then he said to the doctor, "Would you go there?" And the doctor said, "No, I'd go to this one in Riverside." So for the travel nurse thing, even if it is allowed here in Corona, I would do an Airbnb just because of the travel nurse situation in Riverside, because you've got so many more options, right there. And they'll keep your property full, take good care of it, and all that. Yeah. Corona doesn't have a whole lot for an Airbnb, since it's a bedroom community. So just for homeowners.
I like it. Hey, Ted, on your do you have your own tip of the day, tech tip of the day? I've got one for our people if you're not ready for one.
Because I'm having a stream from my phone, I had one. I was going to demonstrate the value of using custom values in your system.
Yes.
But I'm tech limited today. So,
I'm not going to, I won't do your display to showcase the examples on a system, but I can speak to an example that I think the people watching might be interested in if they're realtors or mortgage professionals in this space. And actually, if they're any kind of business, sole entrepreneurs or small businesses that are looking to generate business. And, all of us know that with AI and the changes that are happening in the marketplace, there's a big prediction that the way people search the internet is going to change. But the Google ad campaigns are still something that really pay off, because if you look at the percentages of people that use Google in their search effort, most of them are actually in the mode of a purchase. They're either researching for a later purchase or they're in the mode at that moment to make a purchase.
Yep.
And through our good partner Six Sigma Systems, there is a service that you can build off of. They'll run reports for you and give you a very good idea of exactly what a spend can create for you in terms of the number of leads that can come in. And it's kind of, it's on multiple levels. Like, how many people will see your message? All right, that's great. So that's an impression. Then how many convert? And basically a conversion for them is how many would end up entering into your CRM system. So that, like the Six Sigma CRM system, and then you've got automated responses that go out. And then you have to figure out from there, of those leads that come in, how many can you convert? But Craig, Ted, and I have went through and taken a look at those numbers for a couple of different types of business operations. And based upon the initial estimates that we're getting, it looks like every dollar that goes in is generating anywhere from $6 to $10 on the backside. So, you have to have a little bit of money to put into it. Those programs aren't necessarily inexpensive, because you got to get enough traction in the market to do it. But there are technical systems today that will allow you to go in, take advantage of that marketplace, monitor it, and then you can add a service level on top of it with people that's all they do is watch this for you, and then continue to tweak it until you're getting enough leads in to generate the type of revenue stream that more than pays for it. And then over time, if you're doing that, that also helps your native organic searches, because you've built up a nice chunk of business. So I would say my tech tip of the day today, or the tech tip from the team today, would be you really have to investigate the options that are available for you in those Google ad campaigns, which, we've talked before about social media like Facebook campaigns and how easy it is for us to do that. But here's another avenue, another way to generate a lot of business and do it in a cost-effective way that really adds to the bottom line, because we want all of our clients to add to their bottom line so they can buy more houses and build up a real estate portfolio. So that would be Scott's.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And we tie that in with SEO and an optimized website. So then you're hitting it from both angles, and you do it simultaneously. And what ends up happening is you get better and better throughout those campaigns, to where your conversion rates continue to go higher, because you're taking that data, and data is key to any of these campaigns. In Six Sigma, we go all the way to the level of adding specific phone numbers to campaigns, so you can track what phone numbers coming in, because then you're using some A/B testing. You might use different words, different phrases, different images, and you really need to dial it in. But over time, you get so effective at generating those leads, your convergence goes up and up and up. It will plateau, but they get better with time with the right team. So great tech tip for the day, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, guys. It's already 30 minutes. We got to. Craig, you said 15, and it felt like a blink of an eye, and we're already here. So
we are.
Who wants to go first? Craig, you get the.
All right. I was the cat groomer. We but here's the funny part of that. I was 6.
Well,
Wait, hold
you
on.
know, but all of
cat
your
years? Wait, were you 6 in cat years, or is that a cat year joke?
A cat what?
Were you 6 in cat years?
No.
You're really 6. Okay.
No, I was 6 years old. We had 3 cats. I guess a couple of them got together, and then we had 15 because of this litter. And I mean, I wasn't cutting their hair or anything like that, but and I wasn't. You would think at that age that you might go, oh, cats lick themselves to clean, and I wasn't doing any of that. But I did put them under the water, held them, and my mom caught me. And so anyway, we had to blow that one dry.
All right, Lenny. Lenny of Mice and Men.
I love it. That's great. That's great.
Wow. Way to scare off our one listener, Craig. I was calling viewers. Remember that. We're on video here. Scott, now it comes down to you either on America's Got Talent as an impressionist or you were a judge at the Caliber.
Well, Ted, you are breaking up like crazy. Well, or maybe I am. Hold on just a second. Let me.
No, it's Ted.
It's Ted.
How about now? Oh no!
Oh.
Scott disappeared. He pulled a Houdini on us. I thought I was the magician.
Oh.
I'm gonna go outside and see if I get a better signal.
Oh, you're on mobile.
Yeah, I flipped to my phone because my signal was, internet was so weird. Is he going to come back? Oh, there he is.
There he is.
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, I thought maybe it was my side because you were breaking up. Ted, you were breaking up like crazy.
Right now?
Or I am.
Craig, can you hear me?
No, it's. You know, maybe it's the way you're holding the phone. It might be. Okay, say something.
That's 1, 2.
Yeah.
That's 1, 2.
No, it's really bad. It's really bad. So
all right,
mute yourself, Ted.
Oh man, horrible, guys.
There we go.
The pinnacle of the captains.
There we go. All right, cool. So Craig, you can hear me though, right?
What?
You can hear me though, right, Craig?
I can hear you.
All right, great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have to mute. We have to keep Ted on mute. So Ted will have to do his impressions for us next week because he's the impressionist. I, on the other hand, judge the frog jumping contest. So for many people know, I grew up in Southern Illinois, and we did many things in Southern Illinois. One of the things we'd had was, I don't know, have you guys ever seen a greased pig contest? As a kid, they were so much fun. They grease a little pig, and all the kids go out on the baseball field. They chase around the pig, and then you got to bring them back across the home plate, right? Whoever gets the pig across home plate, that's the winner. So in addition to a greased pig contest, we would have a frog jumping contest. So, you know, in Southern Illinois, you go to the creeks, you get your frogs and do your contest. And so I wasn't actually a judge, but I was a participant, and I never won, but I did win the greased pig contest one year. So
very nice.
And my parents, you know, when you get taken home at the end of the contest, you know, you're full of mud and grease and everything else. So it was a lot of fun for the kids, but it was a pain in the butt for the parents, I think. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, so that's mine. So Ted, do you have enough of a mic you can give us?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
We can.
I'm telling you guys, it's not easy, you know. It's not easy being me, you know. I got a call the other day from somebody from Venice it was a gypsy looking to refinance a Winnebago.
No respect.
It's not easy. It's no respect at all, you know. It's no respect. That's it for today, guys. For Craig Yace, for Scott Benson, I got no respect. This is Roddy Dangerfield. Have a good day, everybody.
See you guys.
Now it's for my dad. He requested it. All right, guys.